Right, good rehearsal. Stand by, everybody.
The sequence starts with you and two stuntwomen being chased by a helicopter.
Made it on.
Cindy, Tracy here was going to double you today. She'll double you in all your explosions and your two big jumps. There you go.
In movies and television, the action sequence is the exciting part.
Very nice, Christine.
For years, most female movie stars were doubled by stunt men, but not anymore. Journey with us around the world and meet some exciting women who look danger right in the face. Tonight on Stuntwomen World Tour.
It's an awesome adventure around the globe with the world's greatest stuntwomen. First stop, New Zealand. Pam Godwin, part-time model and full-time thrill seeker, will try to conquer the jagged peaks of Milford Sound.
Ready, set, go!
It's the ultimate leap of faith, over 2,000 feet from a spot where no man has been before. Then it's off to the stormy coastline of Ireland. Janet Orchid, Hollywood's premier high-fall stuntwoman, will attempt to shatter a world record.
I always like, I could do a better job than that.
And to double the danger, Janet will make her world record jump from a hot air balloon.
She's a very brave girl.
Then take off to the land down under. Australian stuntwoman Polly Wynn will perform a breathtaking stunt from land, sea, and air.
Going through the gear change, if she's not happy with the gear change, she aborts it.
Blast off with this Aussie as she flies over Sydney Harbor. In Kauai, it's a battle against the tropical forces of nature for stuntwoman Maria Kelly.
My job is to conquer that waterfall, and I'm gonna do it.
It's a wet and wild ride over the roaring waters of Kilauea Falls. She's claimed to have saved her own life over 2,000 times. We'll take the plunge with Pam Godwin.
The most fun I ever have with my clothes on.
Witness a wicked combination aerial stunt, 12,000 feet above the Mojave Desert. She's the reigning Miss New Zealand. Gorgeous, glamorous, but most of all, she's a high-flying Kiwi. Join host Timothy Bradley as Miss New Zealand jets him through the awesome foursome.
If I can do it, you can do it.
It's a wild and woolly adventure in the birthplace of the bungee jump. Plus, back in the States, Cindy Crawford blasts through an explosive stunt-filled action sequence.
Oh, sure, I get a faulty vehicle, guys, thanks.
Cindy discovers a few tricks of the trade from Hollywood's greatest stunt performers. So join your hosts Timothy Bradley and Cindy Crawford tonight on Stuntwomen World Tour.
This is Jeff Haberstad. He's the stunt coordinator for Stuntwomen World Tour. On set, he's in charge. Tell us exactly what you do for this kind of thing.
When we're creating an action sequence like yours today, safety, yours and the stuntwoman's, is our first concern. The director, he wants this, I say he can have that. We mix it all up and we produce the most exciting sequence possible.
So what's the difference when we're on location?
The location really is the only difference. We try and combine an exciting stunt with an exotic, fun location.
The first stop on our world tour is the most spectacular setting in the South Pacific. Best known for its surf, sun, and sand, Australia.
Australia. To most, it's known for the postcard views of the Opera House and the Sydney Harbour Bridge. But it's the people of Australia that give the country its rugged reputation. Well-tanned, physically fit, and eager to take on a challenge. Sydney is home to over 4 million Aussies. It's an urban playground that features every type of physical activity imaginable. And it's the home of Australia's best-known stuntwoman, Polly Wynn. Polly has been a stuntwoman in Australia for over 10 years. Her film credits include Quigley Down Under and all the Mad Max films. She's so good in the stunt world that most of the time she doubles men, but her specialty is motorcycles, and today she's planning the jump of her life.
440 feet down, under the Harbor Bridge, Polly will attempt to ride her motorcycle from the pier into Sydney Harbor.
For this, it's the run-up and the speed, getting on the speed and just getting it straight.
You take them all the way through the end, really
Yeah.
revving them? Great.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's perfect.
Stunt coordinator Guy Norris uses a radar gun to calculate Polly's speed. The reason, Polly does not use a speedometer. She must rehearse until she consistently hits her target speed. It's just one of the variables in this complicated stunt.
This brings you quite a few areas here because we're using both land and water. We have a team that, have basically been responsible for building the ramp here today. It's been designed for us pretty well, especially for this, because it's totally variable and we can go either higher or longer with the ramp, depending on what we thought we needed. We have special safety personnel in the water as divers. They'll be looking after anything that happens from a mishap point of view. We've got trained paramedics here that'll be looking after any of the safety problems and any medical things that come up. Then we've got the motorcycle crew that are getting the bike together. We've got the jump bike she's been on, and we've also got an exact double in case we have any mechanical problems at the last moment. So we've brought quite a few different crews together for this one job.
The Australian stunt team was most concerned with the barge, which was the landing zone for Polly. Boxes were placed on the front edge of the solid steel platform. The reason? Safety. If anything should go wrong, the boxes will serve as a cushion, absorbing some of the impact. A team of divers were sent into Sydney Harbor to stand by for a possible rescue. After 5 practice runs, Polly is not hitting her speed consistently. Guy inputs the speed readings into a specially designed computer program to calculate the problem.
Okay, and 67 at 70, and we know she's 58 at 65. Let's put her at 65, because she's been doing that. Okay, and let's see where that puts her.
Please.
Excellent.
Polly must hit 65 k's per hour for a perfect landing. Too fast, she overshoots the barge. Too slow would be disaster. The steep incline of the road is causing the inconsistency, but Polly decides she'll go for it.
She'll be constantly concentrating on, going through the gears nice and smoothly. She'll be hitting the ramp, 4th gear, mid-range. The road's not flat. Over a run-up distance of 200 feet, it drops off over 25 feet. Once she's off the ramp, she'll be concentrating on a nice landing.
Everything is set. All safety personnel in place. Polly is ready for her stunt.
Okay, roll cameras. Stand by. Everyone out of sight. And
No, leave it.
action.
She's off. Her perfect speed is 65. Polly is up and walking, and she appears to be okay. Now looking at her jump in slow motion. Her launch is perfect. But she accelerated to 72 k's per hour and overshot her landing.
It went a bit further, but that's good.
That's good,
It's great. Around the edge.
High-flying Australian stuntwoman Polly Wynn. Congratulations on your flight into Sydney Harbor.
No, a little lower. That's perfect. This is Tracy, my stunt double. Tracy, your driving is amazing.
Thank you.
How did you become a stuntwoman?
Because of my background in rodeo and motorcycles and being athletic, a production manager friend of our family's helped me out.
Do you specialize in certain areas?
I do a lot of different things. Car work, horses, motorcycles. Pretty much to keep busy, you have to be able to do a lot of different things.
But what's your favorite?
I'd say cars. I like crashing them and turning them over.
As the stunts get more complicated, the experts start combining elements of different stunts. Pam Godwin is one of the most experienced skydivers in America. She has over 2,000 jumps, and now she's going to add the element of another stunt. Freedom. Excitement. Hey, Jeff, can I do that? The best thing you can do is just not panic. The most fun I ever have with my clothes on.
Pam Godwin, part-time model and full-time thrill seeker. Born and raised in Florida, she calls the sky her home. Extreme altitude is her natural high. And when she's not flying, she's posing as a print and runway model.
Tell me about model. Model here?
Now I'm based out in Miami, and I used to be in New York, and I model catalogs and magazines and TV commercials.
Okay, well, I understand that, but I have a problem correlating modeling and jumping out of airplanes.
Well, I started jumping way before I started modeling, so.
Really?
Yeah.
When did you start?
When I was 15.
Why did you get into it?
My parents own a skydiving center in Florida. And so I always wanted to do it a lot earlier, so finally my dad let me do it. And my mom being a little nervous, and I went out and did it. And been hooked ever since.
Really? What's the wildest place you ever landed on the ground?
Oh, landed in a tree once. We had the rounds. Big thunderstorm came up. I blew right in the tree. Was hanging 30 feet off the ground. My dad had to get me down.
Wow.
And then I had a cheerleading game. I was late because I was hanging in a tree.
Pam Godwin, a model who poses in magazines for Europe and America. That's just part of the picture. Pam likes the thrill of the free fall so much that she's combining it with another one of her favorite sports, long-distance bicycle riding.
People got a little nervous, you know. They were like, well, they were just concerned about getting away from the bicycle because after you open your parachute, you didn't want it like hitting you in the head.
Pam and her camera operator will leap from the back of the plane, which will be traveling 150 miles per hour. The effect is like riding a bike out of the back of a pickup truck, speeding down the freeway at 90.
Through the whole fall, it's important that she keeps control of the bike. It's going to want to whip all over the place, and if it hits her in the head, there's an obvious problem. Most of all, I'd say she just has to stay focused. She has to first visualize her exit from the airplane.
At 12,000 feet above the Mojave Desert, Pam's jump site is moments away.
This bike's in critical condition. I don't think there's any hope for the frame.
Hey, I got an idea. Instead of me wrapping my legs around that bike, how if I wrap them around you? I want you to shake it, Jax. Make sure all the ripcords are in. Don't
Pam is referring to the latest sport of tandem skydiving. Now in the male-dominated world of skydiving instructors, Pam is one of only 2 certified female jump masters in the United States. The job takes unique physical skills, intense concentration, and the split-second ability to adapt to the danger of a malfunction. But most importantly, she must possess the quality of a leader.
Okay, so we're on jump run. And what I'm going to do is tighten this up real close. The tighter we are, the better. And I'm going to tighten the horizontals, and I'm going to ask you to help. I'm going to give the straps to you, and I just want you to pull them like this.
Okay.
And then we wiggle around a little bit more, and then you do it again.
Shift it.
Yeah.
Boom, retighten it.
And then we'll feel comfortable. And we probably won't be able to breathe. So it's not because you're scared or I'm scared. It's probably because we're hyperventilating.
Be honest.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tim has never been tandem skydiving in his life, but with an expert briefing from Pam, he's ready to fly. In the air, Pam is in charge. She is responsible for the life of her skydiving partner. But with experience, knowledge, and determination, she blazes a trail for female thrill seekers.
I just saved the flashlight. Actually, you pull up. Great.
This is so great. Let's see, we are at, you want to check this out? Whoa, I don't know if you can see that. 4,500 feet.
For a first-time skydiver, the experience is intense. But for Pam Godwin, the ultimate test of her skill and courage waits in the adventure capital of the world, New Zealand.
Rudyard Kipling once described Milford Sound as the eighth wonder of the world. With just one look, you could feel its quiet beauty and immense natural power. Here, Pam Godwin will face the biggest challenge of her life, base jumping 2,100 feet into the freezing waters of Milford Sound. But first, she must conquer that cliff.
Towering 4,000 feet above Milford Sound is Lion's Head. The sheer face of the mountain has been a stopping point for Milford boat tours. It's a location that has been seen by thousands of people, but not one single person has ever set foot on the mountain. The only way to get on the cliff is by helicopter. An aerial survey showed that there was a perfect jump site 2,000 feet above the water. The problem was how to get Pam there. If the choppers unloaded her and her safety crew at the top of the mountain, they would then have to rappel 2,000 feet. The option was a 14-inch ledge 80 feet above the jump site. The chopper pilots will have to balance the helicopter on one skid. The safety crew and Pam will then have to walk along the skid to the site.
When we get up on the cliff, there's no rush. Another minute's not going to make any bloody difference.
Dennis Edgerton, the lead chopper pilot, together with Gavin Wills, the chief mountain guide, gave instructions to all stunt personnel to be stationed on the cliff.
Once you're on the skid handle established there, the guide will unclip you. So that even if he does want to, if there's a bit of wind, for example, and he wants to, once you're on the skid, he'll quietly fly away with you on the skid if necessary.
Look at me, and when I'm ready, I'll give you a nod, an eye contact. Make sure you get that eye contact. And then just slowly ease yourself onto that skid. So, like, don't grab it and jump on.
From sea level, Pam's platform is just above 2,100 feet. That would be the equivalent of the World Trade Center towers stacked on top of each other. The landing zone is 80 feet above that. Now, because of the contour of the mountain, once the chopper pilots balance their machine on the ledge, there's only 6 inches of clearance for the rotor blades from the rock. Any miscalculation or sudden gust of wind could end Pam's stunt before it ever started. Mark Waytu was the first guide on the cliff face. His responsibility was to place anchors and safety lines along the cliff.
Oh, it's pretty outrageous, I suppose. Really. She's been pretty well looked after. What complicates it is the more people you get in this kind of environment, just means it's where accidents can happen.
Once the safety lines were in place, it was time for Pam and her stunt coordinators to survey the site before the actual jump. Her first challenge, getting out of the chopper. A cold blast of wind forces the chopper pilot to back away. The reason? A safety zone made of wood was chopped away by the rotor blades. This safety zone is just 2 inches from the solid rock face. Easing back in, Pam lands safely to survey her jump site. But unloading off the helicopter is not the only danger on the cliff. Turbulence caused by the helicopters creates the danger of an avalanche. Our cameras captured this dramatic footage of an avalanche precariously close to Pam's jump site. With this added threat of danger, our guides were on a constant lookout for avalanches, in addition to keeping an eye on fast-approaching storms and the slick conditions of the cliff.
Whoa. This is the dangerous part.
I know, you're not kidding. The launch is really precarious. You know, it's get into position, get everything right, and go. Once that happens, we'll get Pam into position, and when she gets there, she's going to be ready, and away she goes. Parachutes don't always open straight. It's always a little bit of the cut of the cards when you jump off any. It's like doing anything else, you know. But I think we can do this safely.
Ready, set, go!
Back at sea level, a check of the weather conditions on the southern coast of New Zealand proved to be unlike anywhere else in the world. To simulate wind and air currents on the mountainside, Pam made practice jumps out of a helicopter from 2,000 feet.
That looks perfect to me.
It was, ask him.
Perfect to me.
Good. Go. What do you think?
Absolutely perfect.
Let's go do it. How many
If
more
everything goes perfect for the actual stunt, Pam will jump off the cliff, deploy her parachute at 500 feet, land safely in the water, release the parachute from her harness, then swim to the rescue boat. The first critical point is the jump. If she jumps and turns, the wind could smash her back into the cliff. The second critical stage is landing in the water. The water is 38 degrees. Hypothermia sets in after 40 seconds. Plus, there's the danger that her parachute could fill with water before she releases, which would make the chute a giant anchor, taking her 4,000 feet to the ocean floor.
Don't have a lot of room to turn here. Know your footing, but don't be looking down at the ground.
So you're all set?
Everything looks real good.
Lee, get moving out too much. I want you back where the small boat is, and the small boat back in again. All right, roger that.
Send it down, mate. Come on, mate.
Androsky, that's where, just about where they're taking off at. He's holding for you guys, so as soon as you're happy with camera, let's cut him loose. Okay, yeah, we can cut him loose now.
Before we move her down, she needs to get her pilot chute is about all. Go into your concentration mode, okay? I don't want to leave you alone from now on, but I want you to just think about looking across the valley when you launch. Don't look down as you go.
That's great position. Now, are all cameras rolling? Please let me get a confirmation. Okay, all cameras are rolling. Okay, at this point, 15 seconds or more, no more talk on the radio.
As Pam stares danger in the face, she makes a last-second decision. She feels that the selected jump point is too slick with melted ice and snow. She chooses to jump from a spot 2 feet behind the edge of the cliff. This decision compounds the difficulty. Her free fall will be dangerously close to the jagged face of the mountain.
Nice deep breath.
Stage 1 is a success. Pam has cleared the rock safely. Now Pam must concentrate on her landing and release her parachute the second she touches the water. A perfect landing, and she's deployed the chute. Pam is the first person to ever jump off the 2,000-foot cliff at Lion's Head.
I didn't notice the cold. After I left, the cold was out of my mind. I just, at that slow speed, your parachute deploys slower because with faster wind, it catches the boat. This time it took a little more time, and I know how long it takes to throw my parachute, so I looked over and went, hey, what's happening here, And then it opened, and then riser's thing was on heading, got the toggles, but the farthest feeling, it was awesome.
New Zealand is oftentimes confused with Australia, and to many people, it is referred to as the other land down under. A rugged nation comprised of thousands of islands, the southernmost are snow-capped peaks that serve as the departure site to Antarctica. From there, New Zealand stretches north to the tropical islands near the equator.
Go, great, splash, nice, great.
Carly
Turn
Kennard
more,
is
turn
not your
more.
typical New Zealand woman. She was born and raised on the South Island. She is a college student studying psychology. For extra money, she models part-time. But for the next year, Carly will travel the world representing her country as Miss New Zealand.
The responsibilities of a newly crowned beauty queen usually begin with public appearances, photo sessions, and television interviews. But Carly Kennard, Miss New Zealand, lives in the adventure capital of the world, home of the awesome foursome.
The awesome foursome is like a Sunday stroll for your average New Zealander. And it's just one of Carly's duties as the reigning Miss New Zealand to show visitors the true meaning of thrill-seeking. She starts in a jet boat reaching speeds of 40 miles per hour.
Carly's just fallen out of the boat. First thing she does is grabs the rope and then holds on. The first thing we do, just hold it right there, Carly. First thing we do, take her paddle off her, because it's worth 20 bucks. All right? Check it for any damage, it's all right.
The whitewater rafting in New Zealand is an aquatic e-ticket ride. There are different levels to rapids for whitewater rafting. A level 1 is like your swimming pool. A level 5, a New Zealand favorite, is the most outrageous. And yes, this is a level 5.
Kiwis like a thrill, put it that way. Anything crazy they can do, they'll do it, you know what I mean? As if to other countries come here and they think we're crazy, you know, because we do stupid things like this, diving off bridges, you know.
The ultimate bungee.
If I can do it, you can do it.
25 stories down.
Where's the parachute?
Skipper's Canyon.
Yes.
The birthplace.
Tension definitely mounts.
The ultimate
Go.
bungee jump.
Whoa! Wow!
Just an average day in New Zealand, the undisputed adventure capital of the world.
Okay, at the end of the sequence, just back up to here, and I'll jump over you to the black bike.
Are you serious? This is Gary. He's coordinating the vehicles, and he's going to jump a motorcycle over me. So exactly how fast will you be going?
Well, it's a fairly small jump, probably about 25.
Okay, I think I can do this. I have confidence, mainly because Gary once held the world record for a motorcycle jump. Right now, let's jump to Ireland, where stuntwoman Janet Orcutt is planning on setting her own world record, a high fall from exactly 200 feet.
Ashford Castle, County Cong, Ireland. These stately grounds are the site for a world record high fall attempt by American Janet Orcutt. Her platform is a hot air balloon, piloted by Irish Captain Sean Hennessy. The whole event will be witnessed by the English editor of the Guinness Book of World Records.
The current women's record is 180 feet. That was also done by an American, Kitty O'Neill, in 1979.
There are strict requirements to be eligible for a Guinness record. The first and foremost is that the person attempting the record be qualified. Stuntwoman Janet Orcutt has successfully completed high falls from over 100 feet for feature films in Hollywood. Her dream is to break the world record.
I've always wanted to go 200. 12 years ago, I remember watching a girl go 100. There was another girl that like went 189, but for some reason she's not in the Guinness, and she darn near missed the bag. And I always like, I could do a better job than that.
It is a massive undertaking to coordinate a stunt of this magnitude. Witnesses for the Guinness Book of Records, hot air balloon staff, ground crew, stunt support, and safety officers, all focusing on the Guinness Book of Records.
For over 100 years, Ashford Castle was the hunting lodge for the Guinness family, world famous for their rich dark beer and the Book of Records.
Before she can make an attempt or even become eligible to break the world record, Janet must complete the requirements and follow the guidelines established by the Guinness Book of World Records.
For claims which are submitted to the Guinness Book of Records, there are various things that we require, and the main things are signed statements from at least 2 independent witnesses confirming the facts. So obviously we try to find people who are sufficiently responsible. Either they've got the technical knowledge to comment on the record attempt, or simply from their status are going to be people who we're going to rely on.
To be safe, 4 witnesses will verify Janet's record attempt. Gary Cerveni, a pilot examiner for the FAA in the United States. William Buckley, the hotel manager of Ashford Castle. Actor Norm Crosby. And General P.X. Kelly, U.S. Marine Force Commander.
Of course, it's her choice if she has the option to expunge herself into posterior and allow herself to drop at a velocity of 4 seconds from the moment she leaves the bag until she reaches the balloon. Now,
accurately measuring the height of Janet's fall was the next requirement we were faced with. To satisfy this, a rope was marked in 4 50-foot increments and hung from the edge of the balloon basket.
That's where the 200 feet is, and we got to tie it right here.
The next priority, tether the hot air balloon to 3 vehicles. This would give the ground crew a way to control the balloon while in the air, as well as keeping the balloon perfectly still to ensure a safe jump for Janet.
Janet needs the balloon to be very, very stable when she's ready to leave so that she can be sure to land right on the spot that she wants to land on. By lengthening or shortening these 3 tether lines that are attached to 3 different vehicles, we will be able to move the balloon around until we get right over the spot we want to be.
Everything is set for Janet's practice jump at 75 feet. The crew is in position. The balloon is ready to go. But as the balloon lifts off the ground, a major problem, the wind.
There's quite a bit of wind at this altitude, so we're going to have to just kind of work our way over it. Bronco, pull the rope a little bit at the van.
For Janet to safely complete this jump, the balloon must be perfectly still, which means one simple thing, no wind. Yet the wind picks up speed every minute, making it difficult, almost impossible, to control the balloon in the air or from the ground.
Yes, it might be easier to drive the van.
The safety crew was about to bring the balloon down and wait, but then suddenly there was a calm, and they decided to give it one more try.
Okay, give it one more shot up. Let's see if we try it again. Going up hard. More at the truck. Pull more at the truck. More truck. Pull the rope at the truck. More truck. You're locked on at 75, right?
In the final moments before her attempt, Janet must gauge the exact time to jump. If she misjudges the wind and the balloon shifts a few feet in either direction, she can land incorrectly or miss the bag completely.
There you go. To me, that looks like you're really set really well. Everybody hold right there.
Perfect landing. Janet lands dead center in the middle of the bag.
Bring her down.
I'm okay. Nice soft landing, that's for sure.
Sometimes planning and organization doesn't pay off. Janet successfully jumped from a hot air balloon from 80 feet. That's like jumping off an 8-story building. But because of circumstances beyond anyone's control, she never had the opportunity to make her world record jump of 200 feet.
We turn those on, and then right here we got a crank. Why don't you hop in?
My God, it's like getting in one of those little sports cars. Ah! Oh my God. Okay. Oh, sure, I get a faulty vehicle, but guys, thanks. Now I'm really feeling secure. Probably. Back up.
There you go.
Planning and preparation are the foundation of a successful stunt, but there's always the unknown element, and that's where the danger lies. Stuntwoman Maria Kelly plans for the unexpected as she attempts to ride a jet ski off Kilauea Falls on the Hawaiian island of Kauai.
The Hawaiian island of Kauai is known to visitors as the Garden Island, the northernmost of the Hawaiian chain. It is drenched by thousands of waterfalls. The average rainfall is over 350 inches a year, and it is the power of the rain that helped create Kilauea Falls. Maria Kelly is an expert in the martial arts and specializes in motor vehicle stunts. She's been a stunt woman in Hollywood for the past 7 years, and today she will risk the 5-story plunge from the top of Kilauea Falls.
It's my job to take risks. Like today, my job is to conquer that waterfall, and I'm gonna do it. God help me.
Well, this kind of stunt can be extremely dangerous because we're dealing with the forces of nature. We can't control the amount of water flow that comes over the falls at any given time. The only thing she can really control is the precise timing that she leaves the jet ski in the air.
The speed of the jet ski at the point Maria jumps the falls is critical. If she goes too fast, she could land in shallow water. Too slow, she'll hit the rocks. There is no speedometer on the jet ski, so she must make repeated practice jumps to feel the speed.
Getting over the waterfall, the important part is because of the swiftness of the current, is to get that jet ski over and to hopefully not land on the rocks, which I leave up to the Hawaiian gods to please protect me on this landing.
Okay, inokala, okay, inokala. Yehovah ihanai, Yehovah ihanai, eha ole kako.
In Hawaii, it is believed that there are ancient spiritual powers that affect every relationship between man and nature. In respect of the sacred grounds surrounding Kilauea Falls, a kahuna, Reverend Kaleo Patterson, offers the traditional blessing to protect Maria from ancient evil spirits.
Blessing like that, there's nothing that could go wrong.
A heavy morning rain has created a water flow at the top of the falls that makes it too dangerous for Maria to attempt the stunt. The only option is to redirect the flow of the water with sandbags. With the beach only moments away by helicopter, over 1,500 pounds of sand will be needed to build a channel at the very edge of the waterfall.
With that kind of current, the speed of the water could send her off the rock at any given time. It adds another element to an already complicated stunt.
Well, just before jump, my focus will be on separation from the jet ski. I mean, the worst thing that can happen is the jet ski landing on me or myself landing on rocks on impact, which is when you hit the water, or recoil the jet ski back up as I'm coming up for air. The stunt is completely planned out, but even the best stunts, there is always something that can go a little wrong, which actually makes it look real, and the bruises and the extra pain are worth it.
Kilauea Falls. Rocks are everywhere at the bottom. She has to have a precise landing. And at the top?
Sun look good there, Jeff. Bowden, sun look good? Sun is perfect. Okay, 10 seconds.
Everything is in place. Maria is ready. Divers and safety crew are set.
Okay, here we go, and action.
How do you feel?
I feel good. It was good, you know. It's not a stunt unless you feel just a little impact when you go down.
How was the impact?
Impact was great.
Oh my God.
It was really good.
It looked unreal.
Totally.
It looked so unreal. What did it feel like right when you were coming off?
Just before I went off, you get a little panic because the ski was a little squirrely, but once I separated from it and I knew I wasn't going to land the way I wanted to land on my feet, I basically let my subconscious, of course, take over, and I mean, I wouldn't call that a great landing, but it was good enough to get me off the ski and safely out of the water.
And what about right when you were in the air, right when you
I
did go
saw
off?
the ski flip. So I knew the distance of the ski and myself, so I tried to stay down and get as far away from it as I could.
So you were conscious and you knew exactly what you were doing.
Every second in the air, I knew where I was at and I knew where the ski was at. That's the most important thing.
You're the best.
Thanks, sir.
You are the best.
Thank you.
That's a wrap, everybody.
Great job. You drive pretty good.
Yeah, well, I was only driving in maybe 2 of those scenes.
Yeah, you're right. When you were driving, you were really being towed.
Yeah, all the credit for this has to go to the stunt people who put this sequence together.
And to all the pros in Australia, England, Ireland, Kauai, here in California, and to our friends in New Zealand.
That wraps it up for this edition of Stuntwomen World Tour. I'm Cindy Crawford.
And I'm Timothy Brantley.
And we'll see you next time.
Ready? The stunt starts here.
Gotta look good doing this. Of
course. Okay, head on back.
We can't touch the ground. Can you push him back a bit for me? No! Are you guys doing this?
Camera all right?
Ease it up, bro. Come on.
Oh, you got 3 feet there.
Ooh, nice. Anybody see my bike anywhere?
Oh, Sean Hennessy. Every major newspaper in Ireland's coming. This is a big deal. We've got it all set up. Okay, all right.
Did you get the permit?
What permit?